what happened in Munich happening again?
Well, I think we started today with this fence here and the amount of security that are present. There was no security in Munich. You know, that was one of the terrible things about Munich. There was no security there. And the guy who ran the security company is the chairman of the German Boxing Board of Control. There was inadequate security there. But that's done. That's been, you know, we've done that to death. I've made it very clear my position from day one as far as Derek Chisora is concerned. Unacceptable. A couple of things that happened before the fight, after the fight. I made it very clear. I don't think he went to have a fight, but what happened happened. And he's paid the price. He's paid a big price financially through not being able to fight. Now this fight's taking place. The Board of Control, and I want to emphasise this again, the Board of Control made a decision not to ban Derek Chisora. And they made that for a reason.
Frank, Gareth Ed Davis, Daily Telegraph. The kind of legality of what's going on notwithstanding, do you not feel that there'll be a widespread perception that you're undermining the authority of the boxing board to govern the sport in this country by going ahead and doing this?
No, I don't. I don't think so. No more than probably the German Commission in Germany feel that the board are underestimating their governing, their jurisdiction in Germany when they go and send officials out to cover shows for the Austrian Commission and licensed boxers to go there. You know, the Boxing Board of Control had an opportunity to have the appeal. It was their choice, not ours, to push it back. And as I said very clearly, I also have a duty to Derek Chisora. I'm his manager. He is allowed to box, and I would be in breach of my agreement with him if I didn't arrange a fight for him. You know, this fight's going on. All the boxers, it's going to be correctly medically supervised. It'll be exactly the same as if it were a British Boxing Board of Control fight. So I don't see what the problem is. You know, David Haye, he can be licensed anywhere in the world. He's not banned from boxing. What's the problem?
James and Kirby at boxingfutures.com. David, it's widely reported the large sums you made from your last two fights on pay-per-view on Sky. How is this deal working for you? Is it a set fee or is there a percentage on subscriptions?
I'm happy with what I'm getting paid. I can't go into details of what that exactly is, but I'm happy because I get the opportunity to shut this guy up. You know, I tried to do it in Germany. That obviously didn't work. I didn't hit him hard enough, maybe didn't hit him enough. His people went away. So July 14th, I'll be able to get my money's worth out of him.
Can I ask you a question, Gareth? Do you want to see this fight? Well, then, so you want to see it. Why shouldn't anybody else want to see it? Do you want to see it? Do you guys want to see the fight? I mean, maybe some of you don't. I want to see it. So what on earth why not? It's licensed. It's legal.
But Frank, why didn't you push the board to bring the hearing forwards?
I pushed the board to do it. They've told us that they cannot hear it till July. It's not their decision, it's ours. We're all ready. We sent all the bundles out, all his defence bundles out to all the parties concerned, and we were told last week it's been pushed back. So, you know, we're in between the Euros and the Olympics. That means he's going to be out of action to at least October. And, you know, the guy's got to get a living.
Are the two guys already licensed, therefore, or by the Luxembourg board? So if the British Boxing Board came forward and banned Derek tomorrow, for example...
Well, they can't ban him. How can they ban him? They've made a decision which is subject to an appeal. They had an opportunity, they had a hearing, and it was made very clear at the hearing he is not banned from boxing, only that they will not license him. And that was their decision.
David, Joel Campbell.
I can't hear.
Alan Hubbard from the Independent on Sunday. Frank, two of your fellow promoters, Barry Hearn and Frank Maloney, say that you staging this fight will kill boxing. It will be end of the sport in boxing as we know it. What's your response to that?
Well, two things. You know, did Barry Hearn, when he formed the breakaway snooker organisation or a breakaway darts organisation against those two governing bodies, did it kill those sports? I don't think so. I think even the BDO, I think they went to court and there was said the players should have a freedom of choice as to which open events they wish to play in. You know, Luxembourg is part of the EU. It's a freedom of movement. The border control are members of the EBU, as are Luxembourg, and they recognise each other as governing bodies. And just a point, Barry Hearn, quite a few years ago, won a purse bid for Julian Jackson to defend his title against Harold Graham. And Julian Jackson was found to be blind in one eye when he had his medicals in this country. So Barry took the fight to Spain, and he felt it was in the interest of boxing for a guy who was blind in one eye to fight in Spain. So, you know, we know what Buzzing Baz has to say, and he's got his agenda, and his agenda is, if I can't have it, let's rubbish it.
David.
Maloney.
And Frank Maloney, you know, he's a guy when he worked for me and sold a story to the newspaper up in Scotland, The Sun, saying that Scott Harrison was drunk at a press conference who he managed, and never even told me about it. So I don't need to tell them about boxing. You know, I've supported the border control. I've worked very hard with the border control and continue to. I'm not against the boxing border control. You know, far from it. I'm still supporting them. What I've said, if they want to bring forward the hearing, or if they choose that, you know, Derek served enough time now, as far as they're concerned, and license him, terrific. It'd be, as well as being under Luxembourg jurisdiction, it'd be under the British Boxing Border Control jurisdiction.
Gerald Campbell, Global Sport in Colour. Were you not guilty of raining on Derek's parade in Germany?
Pardon?
Were you not guilty of raining on his parade? Kind of.
Raining on his lost parade. No, I went into.
It was his moment.
I sat back in the press conference, allowed him to have his moment, not to rain on his parade. Waited until him and his coach had finished, and Frank Warren finished what they were saying, and then addressed Vitaly Klitschko and his promoter, because I had some beef with them. Chisora piped up, telling me he's going to give me 2 slaps, and then he kind of rained on my parade, to be honest, because I was trying to have a conversation with Vitaly Klitschko, asking whether he wanted to do the fight that he'd agreed to, and he pipes up, he gets down, takes his jacket off, all his boys behind him, he gets put on his arse. So he kind of rained on my parade that day. But, you know, it's all worked out well for him. Here he is now getting a payday. You know, if he wouldn't have done that, you know, who knows where he'd be now.
As long as it don't rain on the 14th.
Frank, can you hear me?
Sounded like Norman Carter.
Look, going back to perception, without being squeamish, there are a lot of people out there who would like to see boxing banned. That's one of the wider perceptions. We've got all this security here. We've got talk about jumping across the fence. There's been mention of a knife being drawn somewhere. What do you think that means for the perception of boxing for the wider public?
I was having a steak.
I think where you're coming from there, John, I hear what you're saying. You know, I can look at various sports and seen some of the things that happen in sport. You know, what is the perception of people who feel that drug cheats should be allowed to participate in sport? What do you feel about footballers who you know, get involved in racist situations on the pitch, continuing to play football? What do you feel when you see, like, the football match a couple of weeks ago where the 2 teams were knocking 7 colours out of each other? What do you feel about that? You know, unfortunately, stupid things are said. Stupid things happen. People do stupid things. But as I said to you, we've got security here. These guys will settle their differences in the ring on the 14th. And what will the perception be? We'll find out on the night whether this place is sold out and whether people subscribe to the match, subscribe to watch the fight. As I say, whatever differences they've got, they'll be settled in the ring. And I'm sure, like all of these fights, after the fight, and they're going to say no, I'm sure that'll be the end of it between them.
I hope so.
Well, or maybe there'll be a return. Who knows?
Probably want to do it in MMA rules next time.
Yeah.
Question for Derek. Derek, obviously, the altercation with David has led to this event taking place. Do you feel remorse over what happened with the Klitschko brothers, the slapping and the spitting water in the face of the other brother in Munich in February?
You already apologised for that.
Did I apologise?
Yes, you did. He's already apologised for that. Did I? You know you did. Go on, answer the question.
Oh, yeah, you know what? Things happen. So, I apologize for slapping the heavyweight champion. I apologize for spitting on the heavyweight champion. It's done. Yeah.
Let me ask the question. Did anyone ask them to apologise after all the fracas happened when they were standing at the back of the hall clapping? Did you seen that video, haven't you? Have you seen it? Vitaly Klitschko standing at the back, standing at the hall, clapping and then shaking David's hand. I didn't see any apologies from them. And I'll tell you what else, I didn't see any apologies from the German Commission for not having any security there. I was doing part-time security on the night and didn't get paid for it. You know, we've got a fight here. We're going to announce some more fights next week. This is a big show. This is exciting, an exciting fight. And this place, as I say, is going to be rocking. This is going to be sold out. And you know, any of you guys, you've all said yourself, or most of you have said you'd like to see the fight. Go on, have a look at the forums and see what the amount of people that do want to see this fight against not seeing it. It is absolutely 99% who want to see the fight. And the Sun newspaper is sponsoring it.
I think it's probably worth saying that last year, when we had the big fight over in Hamburg, it got a pay-per-view audience, which you may or may not be aware of something approaching 1 million with Sky. And I don't know about you, but it's my idea, or my perception, that there's at least as much interest in the fight between David and with Derek as there was then.
The buys were over 1 million. There was over 1 million buys for that fight, but then for each buy, a pub can have maybe 400 people watching it. Yeah. So you can probably multiply that 1 million by 10, 14, something like that. Yeah. That's how many people. So you know, the call for banning boxing, there's no evidence for that because a lot of people still pay to watch boxing. And I've never seen such a disproportionate reaction to two fighters having a fight. This time it just happened to be outside the ring. So, in hindsight, looking at it now, where should two fighters resolve their differences? In a ring. And that's what's going to happen on July the 14th. But effectively, we were talking about a bit of word slinging, a couple of shots, a bit of grappling on the floor, and that was it. They're two fighters. That's what fighters do. They shouldn't have done it outside the ring, and they both admitted that, and now they've arranged to do it in the ring. And yet, for some reason, people are pretending that they don't see the logic in that, but just pretending it because it makes a bit of a story. But if anybody doesn't want to watch a fight that's here, if you stand up and leave now, I guarantee no one will leave because people want to watch it. You've got two world-class heavyweights, both from Britain, who want to fight each other. And their styles are going to gel because they're going to be in range, wanting to let their hands go, not using their 6'7" advantage to jump back every time someone clenches their fist. Derek comes to fight, David comes to bang. You are going to get an exciting fight. And once we realise that they're two professional fighters who want to have a fight and should do in a ring, we can get over this nonsense that's happened over the last God knows how many months because it's been totally disproportionate. And me personally, I'm offended by the disproportionate nonsense that's been written about two guys having a bit of a dust-up.
David, Dr. Morton, City Aim. It sounds as though the Klitschko fight's the one on the bigger picture for you. Do you think this fight's going to, bring that closer in any way?
I don't think it would bring me any further away from it, to be honest. Whether it brings me closer or not, I don't know. But I'm not going to get the Klitschko fight in the summer, so if I haven't got it in the summer, why not keep busy? By the summer, it'd been about a year I've been out of the ring. I think that's a long enough time to be out of the ring. Ideally, if I'm looking at fighting Vitaly or Vladimir again, having a little putting the gloves on, getting out there in front of a crowd and going through the motions wouldn't be a bad thing to do before going there against one of these big guys. Although he's nothing like them in style and every single thing about him, to be honest, it's still just going through the motions, going through the warm-up in the change room, going out there, putting him on his back and then have a nice after party and taking it from there.
If you recall, Klitschko's actually said themselves, these two guys get it on, they'll fight the winner.
Bert Bunt
actually said that. Bert Bunt said that. So you can look at this
verbal contract.
And yeah, not worth the paper they're written on. But if that's the case, that'll be fantastic. So you look at it as being an eliminator.
Hi.
David. It's Scott from FightHype.com. Just a question. Obviously, you've been inactive since last July. Have you stepped into the boxing gym and prepared yourself for? Obviously, there's a rumour Klitschko bout scheduled to happen. Have you been in the boxing gym, sharpening up, or did you?
I haven't been sharpening up. I'm a healthy person. I eat relatively healthy. You know, I haven't got any addictions. So I'm always in relative shape. And for this fight, it's quite a treat to actually fight someone who's tailor-made for me. You know, when I'm even fighting Audley Harrison, I had to find some big. I had to fight, I suppose, Tony Thompson and some real big southpaws. So I had to work out getting around that southpaw. You know, adjusting but this guy is, as I said, tailor-made. He does exactly. He'll walk right into range. You know, trying to bob and weave and trying to throw body shots and jab into my chest. Do all the things that I like my opponents to do. So I'm actually going to be able to enjoy training. You know, sparring against big southpaws is not that much fun. You know, or sparring guys who are 7 foot ain't that fun. But fighting someone who's got shorter arms than myself, whose head's huge, and just takes punches in the face, it couldn't be any better. You know, I'm actually I'm actually looking forward to going through the training. I start training camp in June. Start training camp in June. A nice 6-week blitz. I won't have to work on anything too technical. It's just get myself in physically fantastic condition, like I'm always in, and go through the motions. I'm looking forward to it.
Sorry. Can't hear you, Mike.
Frank, Mike Walters, Daily Mirror.
Hey, Mike.
The bill is entitled Licence to Thrill. Is that rubbing the British Boxing Board of Control's noses in a bit?
No, it's not rubbing in. It's the fact they're licensed, and it's going to be a thriller. And all I wish I wouldn't say we'd like to be at Aston Villa, because we could have been the thriller at the Villa, but we're at West Ham, so we're going to have a real battle here, and it's going to be a fight that all the fans, as I say, want to see. It's not rubbing. This is a licensed event. The reason we mention license, because I've read a lot of stuff saying this is an unlicensed fight. It's not an unlicensed fight. There are a lot of unlicensed shows that go on around this country on a regular basis, on a weekly basis, as far as the Board of Control concerned. This is a licensed and bona fide event.
There's lots of other governing bodies that license fights anyway.
Yeah.
There's other boxing governing bodies that license their fights. The Board of Control just happened to be one in England.
Are there any other questions?
Right, well, in that case, we're going to start off by having television interviews with David at this side, so if and radio, of course, so if we could go to that side. And yeah, before that we'll have the head-to-head, so hang about. And then the written media will be over there. So, now for the snappers, we've got the old head-to-fence shots, so I'll go out the way.